Hello, Buddy Crow here, and it looks like I've got more
questions. I need answers.
This question is from Melvin Lopez, the Beyonder. I wonder if that's supposed to be the Beyonder, but it says Beyonder. Whatever. Anyway, his question is, out of all the games you have ever played, which games are top 10 in your own opinion and why? And, you know, that question right there is pretty impossible to answer as it is. Because I've played a lot of games, and I like way more than 10 games. So how do I pick which games I think are the best? The answer is I really can't. But what I did do was I kind of went through my collection, and I pulled out games that I thought I would put in a top 10 list. And I wound up with, even trying to be frugal on this, I wound up with like 22. And so I somehow narrowed that down to 10. So obviously these are all going to be games that I own, and they're not digital games, and they're not PC games, and they're not. I'm going to leave out pinball games. Well, realistic, real pinball games, not realistic. Pinball machines like Star Trek. That would obviously be number one, since I've been playing that every day and I love pinball. So I'm going to stick with video games, and I just have kind of 10 at random. I've tried to order them from 10 to 1. But you know what? If you were to ask me this question tomorrow, I might be in a different mood, and I'd have all different games in there. For the most part, some of the games would probably still be in here. But, I mean, there were a ton of games that I wanted to put in this top 10 list, but I just couldn't. For one reason or another. Like, you know, my favorite NES game, Battletoads. I couldn't put it in the list. I got no NES games in this list. I got no Genesis games in this list. You know, basically, I picked out games that I played a lot. Okay, some of them maybe not so much, or I could see why I could play them a lot if I had the time to play them. A lot of this stuff may be nostalgic, but you know what? That's enough talking. Let's start with the list. Number 10, I have Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Now, why? Oh, I forgot to mention, one game per franchise, too. So, you know, the Hot Shots Golf games, you know, you have the first 2 games on the PlayStation. You have another 2 games on the PlayStation 2. I think I may have played Hot Shots Golf 3 the most. There's 2 games on the PSP. There's a game on the PS... There's one for the PS... Did I say PS3? PSP. 2 on the PSP. 1 on the PS3. This is also available for digital download on the PS3. Which I never did because my save wouldn't transfer over this. But what is in here? What is rattling? Oh, that's right. Oh, my AR cards for the PS Vita. Now I gotta remember that they're in there. But yeah, I love kind of golf games in general. Some more so than others. I like the traditional 3-click way, and you get that in this Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. I played this when I first got this. I was playing it online almost every day. I was like in the top 2%, and I was doing that for months and months and months, and he's like, you know, I got to stop this because I'm not playing anything else. So, yeah, I mean, to me, golf, it may seem like a sports game. A lot of people may not be interested in golf, but to me, in a game like this, you got a lot of customization, and it's pretty much a numbers game. You look at the wind, you look at the clubs, you look at the distance, you look at your lie, and you estimate what may be your best shot, and then you have to perform. And, you know, then you decide where you want to put the backspin, the topspin, and that affects your trajectory, all that. And even playing like the newest Mario Golf on the 3DS, nothing still beats this. Nothing beats Hot Shots Golf. And to me, this is the best Hot Shots Golf game. So that's my number 10, Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Number 9, we're going way back. I got to go with Pengo on the Atari 8-bit computers. I used to play this a lot on... either the Atari 400 or the Atari 1200 XL, but I still have the Atari 400. I have an Atari, what is it? The Atari game system, XEGS. But Pengo was one of the games I always played. It's by Sega, and I just like it. You run around, you push the block, kill the snowbees. It's a very simple game, but once you get up to the higher levels, it gets very difficult. You have to kind of remember, it can help you, in the game if you remember which ice cubes or cube blocks the snow bees are laying in. You could actually kill them before they even have a chance to hatch. I don't know, I just got to put this one on the list because I played it a lot and I still really like this game. So that's Pengo, number 9. Number 8, yeah, I had to throw this on the list, even though I may not play it so much anymore, but Racing Destruction Set on the Commodore 64. Great packaging, as almost all the EA Commodore 64 games were, like Archon, Archon 2, Sky Fox, games like that. But this, we played a lot. Me and my sisters, we played this a lot. It's split screen, but the thing that really soaks your time into it is the customization. You can make your own tracks. I don't know if you can customize your own vehicles, but you know, with your tracks, you could choose the gravity level, the number of laps. Even though there's the destruction part where you could fight against the other cars, we always just raced because that was great, making your own tracks. And you could even make tracks that would be impossible to finish because maybe you made a hill too steep. A car can't get over that, and you can't back up enough to get enough speed. On the back, the best slot racing set ever. Yeah, so it is kind of like a slot car where you got the 3 tracks and you kind of, you know, be in the middle, the left or the right side of the track. Only downside to this are the massive loading times. But honestly, back in the 80s, everything had massive loading times. So you were used to it back then. These days, really wouldn't cut mustard, I think. But it's just a classic to me, and I just remember putting countless hours into the game. This was, probably still is, my favorite Commodore 64 game. So we'll put that off to the side. That's number 8. What is that? Number 7. Yeah, number 6 we got, now this was very difficult. I chose Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. And the reason I chose this over the original game, or even, I was thinking about choosing Super Mario All-Stars in the Super Nintendo, but I went with this one because I may not have played it as much as the original NES game. And for All-Stars, I never really picked that one up. I played all the games originally, even Super Mario World, so I never really had All-Stars when it came out because I already had played all those games, and even the enticement of the newer graphics really didn't entice me. But I got this because it was playing Mario 3 Portable. But they also had e-reader connectivity, which is something I had at the time and something I still have. So I went ahead and I got all these, I just pulled these out. I have a binder of e-reader cards, so I just kind of pulled out these pages. So you can put in power-ups whenever you wanted to, and here's the back of them. They have, yeah, so you use the e-reader in conjunction. You needed 2 Game Boy Advances to pull that off. But at that time, I had the Game Boy player and a Game Boy Advance, and I could transfer that way. It was nice as they had the switches. What it did was it made the game different than the original, because you could have, like, you could even have the feather power up from Super Mario World and play it that way. There was also something else in here. There's some power ups, demo cards. You could see how to do certain things by scanning the card and watching the demo level. So that was kind of cool. I mean, they could have just put this in the game, but they had to get some functionality out of your e-reader, I think. I don't see the card, but there was a card that let you play the game like, oh, you know, it's these switches, I think. They you scan the card, and that like activated the switch, and that let you be able to pull vegetables out of the ground like in Mario 2. And then this orange one let you, when Mario defeats an enemy using a fire attack, he turns into a coin, like Super Mario World. So it kind of mixed in some of Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario World into Super Mario Brothers 3, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, you know, it was kind of funny, though, is like if you activated the card, it stayed that way, and you were left to play it that way until you had that connection set up to switch it back. So I think that was my number 6 entry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they had to be my number 7 entry. What's going on here? I got confused for a second. This is number 6 entry. This is Castlevania: The Dracula X Chronicles. Now, I was going to throw Castlevania Symphony Night in there, and I could have thrown Castlevania Round of Blood, But why do that when you got both games on this one disc here? Now, granted, I have not played this that much at all. In fact, I'm going to have to capture footage for this to put up there. But you play, this is like a remastered Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And I think once you finish that, you unlock Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a great idea because those games are back to back. As soon as Rondo of Blood finishes, Symphony of the Night begins. So you can't beat that. And the only shame is that it's on a PSP, and this never got released for anything else. Now, granted, I don't know. Maybe it has been released digitally somewhere else. You know what? If this has been released digitally somewhere else, let me know. I'd love to play this on the PS4 or the PS3. Because playing it on the PSP, you know, it's kind of, the PSP is showing its age. The screen doesn't look that great. You know, I might have it on the Vita as a digital download. Huh! That's the thing, I have to look. Hang on a second, I gotta check this out. Yeah, sorry about that, and I actually didn't have it on there. What I did have was Symphony of the Night, the PS1 version, downloaded on my Vita, because that was a PlayStation Plus free game at one point. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with this, even though I haven't played this that much. But the fact that both games are in here puts it in a top 10 list somehow. I mean, this is one of those games that maybe if I had done this tomorrow, this might not have been in there. All right, next game. This is number 5. I'm gonna go with Smash Brothers Brawl. New. Kind of maybe what could have combined Melee in with this, because Smash Brothers Melee was the game that made me want to get a GameCube. Me and my friends would have a gaming night every Friday when we were in college, and Melee was there for quite some time. Everybody played Melee, you know, and when somebody got tired of playing it, there was always somebody to pick up that spot. So when I finally got my first job out of college, you know, very next day I ran out, bought a GameCube, and got Smash Brothers Melee with it. I played the hell out of it. And then when I heard this was coming out for the Wii, I actually pre-ordered it. And then not only did I wait in line for a midnight release to pick it up, we immediately went over to my friend's house and we played it over there for 2 days straight. And then I had the next 3 days, I took vacation days off of work just to play this game. Now I know that Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS just came out, and I didn't do anything like that because maybe I'm getting older or something like that. But yeah, I played the hell out of this, and the reason I'm going with this one over Melee, even though a lot of people may say that Melee's better because it is a more of a structured fighting game. Like in this game, the wave dashing I don't think really works so well, whereas in Melee it did. And that's what I like about this. I think that these Smash Brothers games aren't really meant to be taken seriously. I mean, I don't think it's a tournament fighter caliber kind of thing. I like to play with all the items on. I like to play with all the goofiness going on. I don't like to play on Final Destination with no items. That to me is not really that fun. I like the randomness. I like weird things happening and how you're going to react to those weird things happening. And that's why I'm going with this one, because they did throw in more characters and more and stuff like that. And I gotta say, I played Smash Brothers for the 3DS, and that I would have put that on the list. But the fact is that it's on the 3DS, and I can't control it as well as I can this with a GameCube controller. Although Pac-Man does rule in that game. I love Pac-Man in that game. So we're gonna go down to number 4 here. I'm gonna go with Burnout 3 Takedown. And you know what? This game might even be on my top 10 if it were just for the racing, because that was awesome. The takedowns in slow motion and have the camera spin around, because that was awesome back in the day. You never saw anything like that. But the crash mode steals the show in this game. And even though the crash mode was in Burnout 4, I don't think it was done as well as it was in Burnout 3. You had 101 scenarios for crash mode. You could have 8 people playing, and we used, again, during those gaming nights we used to have, used to set this up. We used to have 8 people lined up all the time. Only, you know, it could have been done a little bit better. I mean, because some people, if you flubbed it, you were out of that round. But yeah, good times there, just crashing into traffic, causing as much mayhem as possible, and that's the purpose of the mode. And that was just completely awesome. Burnout Paradise kind of had that too, but they weren't set up scenarios. This was just pure awesome. Trying to get those icons to, you know, double or quadruple your score while avoiding the icon that makes your score go in half, and then adding up all the damage at the end. Just pure awesome. Now we're going into the top 3, and for right now, I don't think that these top 3 will change anytime soon. So we got number 3, We Love Katamari. Now the Katamari games, I think, are the best games that have come out in a long time. When I first heard that, was it Katamari Damacy was coming out on the PS2, well, I knew about it, the Japanese with it. I'm like, that game's never coming out in the U.S. And then it came out in the U.S. And not only that, it was a $20 game. That was a must-buy. And so when the sequel came out, that's this one, We Love Katamari. Not only did they increase the amount of stuff to do and the amount of areas, and you know, some scenarios are now different. You know, some of them I like, some of them I don't like. But just overall, this is a big step up from the first game. Now there are other games in the series. I mean, there's one on the PSP, there's one on the Vita, there's one on the PS3, there's one on the Xbox 360. And while those games are good, I don't think they don't. There's just something about all those games that in my mind don't make it as great as this one, and I don't know what it is. I mean, they look better. I don't even know if there's more scenarios. I mean, I think maybe they just went too far with the final levels where you're trying to plug a black hole in one of them. Again, you know, it's some of those things that maybe if I played the game again, I'd have a different opinion on it. But I played this one a lot, and I unlocked everything in it, and even collected the million roses that it needed in the game. Now, again, I don't know if I have that save file or not, but whatever. Whatever. Moving on, number 2. Gonna go with the Pinball Arcade. Now, I said I'd stay away from digital downloads, but you know what? This is a physical release. So I'm gonna go with the Pinball Arcade on the PS4, because it has all the first one season tables on there. And again, I'm way into pinball, and then you could add on all the tables that you want afterwards. So yeah, this is probably the best simulation of pinball, real pinball, not like Zen Pinball, where, you know, the Zen Pinball, you know, the physics and everything may be okay, but those tables are all made up. They don't really exist. Now this is a simulation of real pinball tables, and it's done very well. So I gotta go with that, and you know how much I'm into pinball. Okay, for number 1, this is gonna stay at number 1 for quite some time for me, and that's gonna be Portal 2. Now I have the PS3 version here, and the footage I'm showing is going to be my first time actually playing the PS3 version. Now what happened was, I said I really wanted this on the PC because first-person shooter games, for the most part, I prefer playing with a mouse and keyboard. But my wife got me the PS3 version, and I was almost going to say, we'll take it back, but then I saw on the back, hey, includes free access to play on your PC/Mac via Steam. I was like, no, don't take it back. Now I could use the code and play it on my computer. So I've really only popped this disc in really to get the code to play it on Steam, and and now I'm actually gonna play to capture again some footage, but on the PS3, because for me right now it's just easier to capture off the PS3 than it is my PC, which I guess you could just use Fraps or something, but I'm just gonna go with this. You know what? I wonder if my I'm gonna check. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I am using the PC version. I'll put a little note whether or not I'm using the PC version or not, just based on whether or not how easy it is for me to capture off my PC. So anyway, that's my number 1. I don't think this is I mean, because it's not a first-person shooter, but it's like a first-person puzzle with portals, and you've got GLaDOS in there. You got all the comedy. Cave Johnson is great, and just the storyline, and the final portal shot, which I won't ruin if you haven't played it, but the final portal shot was just amazing. I was like, there's no way this is gonna work. Bam! It works! Holy crap! That was just an awesome ending to the game. There's my list. And yeah, I knew somebody eventually was gonna ask me, oh, what's your top 10 this or top 10 that? And of course we get the, what's your top 10 everything? And I just had to wing it. But if you do have a question, link to where you can ask those questions is below. Thanks everyone for watching. See you all next time. Bye.